A drama begins with our heroine Yoon, who is still a high school student. The moment you see her, you feel like she's so stiff and closed off that if someone blew a little air on her, she would just fly away. And of course, the thing a shy girl like her hates the most is standing up and speaking in front of the whole class. Meanwhile, our hero Young Woong, who is the same age as her, works as a model. Mashallah, just look at his height. One day, Yoon is walking around when she spots a really pretty dress that's quite revealing, and she softly whispers, "Wow, who even wears stuff like this?" But then a gorgeous girl walks by and she says, "Oh my god, what do people even eat to look this beautiful? Do they eat Botox or what?" And her legs keep taking her forward until she finds some people drawing in the street and a strange girl with blue hair standing there posing for them. And inside that group, she sees a boy so handsome, wearing glasses, and she doesn't realize she's staring at his beauty until he turns and feels the eyes burning into his back. So she panics and runs, but the boy stands up fast and says, "Wait, miss, we're an art club. Would you like to join us?" And she isn't focused on anything except his beautiful face and those mesmerizing eyes and that sharp nose, and she thinks to herself, is he trying to flirt with me softly? Is this it? Am I finally saying goodbye to being single and entering the doorway of love from the widest gate? And she gets ready to remove her glasses and act shy, but she never got to see his features clearly, because before she knew it, the blue-haired girl stood right in front of her and said, "Listen, just 3 minutes, please. Let me draw you. I swear on your mother's life." And our girl says, "Fine, I'll stand here just for the sake of that handsome moon." And after everyone finishes drawing her, they give her the drawings and keep telling her she's cute and her eyes are pretty. And she finds that handsome boy saying, "My number is on the drawing. If you want to join our drawing lovers club, call me." And when her friends force her to call him because a guy like that shouldn't slip from her hands, she messages him, and he replies telling her she's officially invited to the Spirit Fingers Club, the club right next to Zainab's Fingers sweet shop. And he tells her if she accepts the invitation, he'll tell her when and where next time. And she feels like the world is finally smiling at her. So she skips class, puts on makeup, and tries to pamper herself like the pretty girls before going, but a group of mean girls catch her and smear her face with colors while she holds back her tears with all her strength. And after they leave, she pulls out tissues to clean her face, but someone grabs her shoulder, and it turns out to be our boy telling her, "Give them to me." So she says, "Who are you, and give you what, you idiot?" But when she looks at his school uniform, she realizes he's from a famous high school, and she says, "Please have mercy, that's all the money I have." But he grabs the tissues and runs. Turns out the fool just needed to go to the bathroom. Meanwhile, our girl washes her face and says, "Forget makeup and this nonsense. My face looks fine anyway." And she goes to the club meeting and finds everyone hugging her and happy she came, each person introducing themselves. The girl who used to have blue hair now has green hair and calls herself Green, and the handsome boy with glasses is Blue, and one girl is named Bambi, and there is Black, and one called Beige. And our girl thinks, what kind of nonsense group did I fall into? But Green keeps telling her that she and Blue started the club and then kept adding members, and of course there was one last member who arrived late. You can guess who. It's our boy. And they decide to call our girl Light Blue, and she nearly dies of embarrassment, especially when our boy walks in and pretends not to recognize her since her face earlier was covered with smeared colors and lipstick, until Black tells her to stand next to Young and pose like a couple so they can draw them, and she thinks, oh great, here come the disasters. And when she stands next to him, the boy steps closer and whispers, "You know me, right?" And she panics inside, screaming, "Oh no!" And suddenly she throws her head up and accidentally kicks him straight in the nose, sending him flying. Then she runs away, and when he tries to follow her, the others hold him back, telling him, "Calm down, man, she's just a poor, shy girl." While our girl thinks, he recognized me, he'll embarrass me in front of them, he'll tell them how ridiculous I looked. Oh, my disaster. I wish I could disappear. And when she goes home, she throws herself on the floor of her room and says, "What a loss. The club was so nice. I felt like I was in a cartoon movie. Why is it that everything nice in my life ends quickly?" And she checks her phone and sees the group chat where our boy officially joined as a model to draw. And a little later, she finds he sent her a message saying, "Take this, you girl who ran away and kicked me. I swear I'll show you. From now on, I'll call you Madiha Tissues, and I won't leave you alone when I see you." But because our girl is a nerd, she ignores the fact that he's mad and keeps thinking, why is he writing like this? Where are the punctuation marks? This boy definitely failed middle school. And she doesn't reply, while our boy is dying, staring at his phone the whole night saying, "I won't let you get away with smashing your head into my nose." And he keeps sending her around 65 messages until the next morning. But when she tells her friends, they say, "Turn off your phone and don't think about him. Let's focus on the disaster of a school we're going to." And later she goes to the club meeting but runs into the handsome Blue, who tells her, "Good morning, we sent a message that the meeting was canceled." And she says, "Really? I didn't see it." And he says, "It's okay. Have you eaten? Come with me to this restaurant. You'll love it." And of course, who would refuse such an offer from the handsome Moon? So she goes with him, and he keeps talking to her about drawing and asks her if she wants him to go with her on Wednesday to choose art tools together. And she blushes and says, "That won't bother you, right?" But inside she's thinking, is this luck? Are we going on a date or what? And on the way, our boy hasn't read the message canceling the meeting, so he sees our girl in blue in the restaurant and runs inside saying, "Did you fall or did the wind throw you here? Are you ignoring my messages? No one ever dared to do that before." And she says, "Oh, please. Is it that important, you silly boy? And he thinks, oh no, I look like such an idiot. And at night he finds she messaged him saying, let's forget the past and start a new page. And he jumps around laughing and shouting to his friends. Help me, she finally replied, but why? And they tell him, shut up and go do something useful. And after a few days, he decides to invite her out. And when they go to a cafe, the same mean girls enter. And she gets scared and says, let's leave. But from his look, you feel he understood everything. So he holds her hand and says, sit, we're not going anywhere. And tells her, didn't we just talk about this? I told you not to fear anyone and not to let anyone bother you. But when he sees her still looking down saying, I'm scared of them, he gets angry and says, come with me, go tell them this to their faces. And he drags her into the cafe bathroom where the girls are putting on makeup. And they say, well, why are you staring at us like that? Do you want a beating? And she says, yes, I'm staring, you shallow brats. Is this the life you're proud of? And she pushes them and runs back to our boy waiting outside. And when the girls start chasing them, the two of them run. When the girls ran after them, our girl told him she was very happy because it was the first day she actually felt good. So he said, yes, that's it. Stay strong. And anyone who bothers you, hit them on the head, boss. And then they went to the club meeting where everyone was waiting for them to wear the Evil Witch outfits and get into the mood. And our boy sat there holding the sketchbook, not caring about anything except watching our girl draw with excitement. And suddenly he felt like someone cast a spell on him because she suddenly looked so pretty to him as she laughed and looked relaxed. And after the meeting ended, our girl found him walking behind her. So she asked, what is it? But he just stood there silent with a sad, tense face, getting very close to her and asking, are you attracted to Blue? And our girl lowered her face shyly and he said, oh no, so you are attracted to him. Then he left her and walked away, looking upset or disappointed. No one understood what was wrong with him. And he kept telling himself, pull yourself together. Why are you upset? While our girl couldn't understand herself either because she didn't even say she liked Blue. Why couldn't she just say it clearly? And the next day when she met her friends at school and told them, they asked her, so did he look upset or happy or like he was mocking you? And she said she wasn't sure, but he looked a bit irritated without yelling. So one of her friends said, of course he's upset. Isn't he the brother of Green in the club? I heard that Blue and Green are in the same university and they like each other. So our girl said she didn't know, but they looked like close friends. And her friend said, you're too naive. He thinks you'll ruin his sister's love life, so he's annoyed at you. And her other friend said, or maybe he's upset because you like him. I smell something like that. And our girl told them to calm down and stop daydreaming. And she decided to call him and meet him and tell him, look, you looked annoyed yesterday, so I want to tell you I'm not into Blue at all. And he said, why would I get annoyed, girl? Go burn if you want. I walked away because your stomach probably hurt. That's it. And now you dragged me here to tell me you're not into anyone. Fine, I'm leaving. And I'm not coming to the club this time because I have work. Goodbye. And at night he found our girl calling him. And he was secretly thrilled, but answered with a fake angry voice saying, what do you want? And she told him the club asked her to choose the concept for this month's meeting, what style to wear and what to draw. And she was scared she'd choose something they wouldn't like but pretend they did. So he told her, why would they pretend for you? Are you part of their family? Pull yourself together and trust yourself and prepare something good. Is this a club of ministers or what? And even though he had decided not to go because of work, the moment he finished, he ran straight to the club and found our girl dressed like a bad girl with her hair styled beautifully. And he swallowed hard from how tense he got seeing her. Not stiff and shy, but glowing. And she said, you came? Didn't you say you had work? But someone saved him before he messed up his words because he couldn't even find a reply. And then Blue walked in saying, you look really nice in that outfit. So our boy rushed to her, grabbed her shoulders and said, come inside. The others are waiting for us, like a jealous little cutie. And when the part came where two people had to stand like a couple to be drawn, Blue and our girl were about to stand together, but our boy pulled her hand and stood next to her instead. So our girl pulled him aside and said, listen, I know you don't want me to like him because of his connection with your sister. You don't want me to ruin anything for her. I'm not stupid, and I won't stand between them, but I have the right to choose who I like or dislike, so stay in your lane and leave me alone. And our boy stood in front of her like a scolded student, unable to speak. And the next day when they walked side by side, they were both too embarrassed to talk. But our girl finally said, I shouldn't have gotten mad at you like that. It wasn't your fault. I'm the one who threw myself into feelings just because they feel nice. But then everything flips on my head. Sometimes I feel like no one will ever return my feelings because I'm like a torn old coin with a hole in it. And our boy told her, but you're beautiful. And just as she was about to ask him, what did you just say? She saw her mother behind her and panicked, saying, oh no, Mom, I need to hide. She'll yell at me if she finds out I didn't go straight home. So he hid with her behind a tree, even though he didn't even know why he was hiding. And once her mom walked away, our girl came out, but he grabbed her hand and said, I finally understood why I was upset, because I want you to like me, not that Blue guy. Then our girl froze, confused, because she expected some normal confession, but instead he said, you have to like me. So she yanked her hand away and said, get lost. The thing I hate most is someone acting like this. And she ran away. And our boy felt his pride shatter into 6,000 pieces. The guy who rejects girls left and right, the guy all girls die for. The day he dares to make even a tiny confession to a girl, she tells him, the worst thing on my heart is that you like me. And with the drama hitting maximum level, he went home screaming and was about to throw himself off the roof if his friends didn't catch him. And he ended up with a cold lying in bed, staring blankly at the ceiling. And his friends told him, what What were you expecting? For her to hug you? You're unbelievable, bro. A normal guy confesses and waits to see if she'll accept or reject, but you walked up full of arrogance saying, like me. Love doesn't work like that, you delusional idiot. Go fix what you ruined instead of crying like an old lady. So he jumped out of bed, put on his uniform, and marched straight to her in the middle of the school wearing sunglasses, shouting, Yoon! And our girl walked like she hoped the ground would open and swallow her, and he said, I came to apologize. I was confessing to you yesterday, but I'm a bit stupid, and I want to ask you if we can. And our girl thought, he's going to ask me out, right? But then he said, let's get married. So she told him he was an annoying, cold child and kicked him in the face again. And he went home depressed the same way he came, but her friend kept pushing her, telling her, what's wrong with giving him a chance? Maybe your luck will finally work with him. He's a handsome moon after all. So she sent him a message asking to meet at a cafe, and he ran to her, and there she asked him, is your face okay after that punch? And he kept acting tough, saying, yeah, it's fine. Your hand is like a man's hand. Why is it so strong? And she told him, I get like that when I'm angry. So he said, I'm serious. I like you. And she said, he tells her, imagine a guy tells a girl he wants to marry her. What would you do if you were in my place? And she tells him she understands. He just got nervous a little. So he says, let's start again from the beginning, my lady. I like you and I want us to be together. Will you believe me now, or will you say you hate this conversation again? So she grabs her bag and runs away, and he runs after her saying, okay, calm down. Clearly you're not ready to hear this right now. I get it. But then why did you call me? And she tells him she wanted to ask why he said she was beautiful. And he says, what kind of question is that? Because you are beautiful. And she tells him to stop joking. So he says, why? Every time I say something, you'll say, I'm joking. And she says, look, I can't make a decision yet. We barely know each other. Let's be friends first and see what happens. And he says, friends? Oh, my heart, you threw me in the friend zone. Fine. Just don't keep me stuck there too long. Hurry up while getting to know me. And the next day, after they leave the art club, our boy walks with her while she carries the costume bag from the club. And he circles around her saying, we're friends, right? And she says, talk. So he asks, are you still crushing on Blue? But she isn't even listening because she pulls out a coat from the bag and says, oh no, I didn't return it. And when he realizes it's Blue's coat, he panics and says, this is Blue's coat? You still have it? Give it to me. And he snatches it and puts it on. And our girl thinks, what is wrong with this tiny world? And he asks her, honestly, don't I look better in it than him? And she says, no, you idiot. It looks better on him. Take that off. It's not ours. And he says, I'll give it to him myself. Leave it. But she grabs it saying, no, I'll return it. And he says, no way. I'm not letting you go see him. So she pushes him and his head hits her hand. And when she grabs the coat, she accidentally rips it and she yells, great. What am I supposed to do now? It's torn. And he says, so the coat is more important than my head? And she says, yes, you donkey. And later he goes to his friends, showing them a picture of Blue, asking, tell me, who's better looking, me or him? And when they stay silent, he smashes their heads together and says, obviously me. You're not even answering? Oh, right. The journalist in your brain is on vacation. I swear I'll erase him from her head, erase him from the face of the earth. And the next day when our girl leaves school, she finds our boy coming toward her with his friends, wrapping his arm around her shoulder and telling them, say hi to your sister-in-law. My beloved friend, who has nothing between us until she softens up. So she pulls him aside saying, what's wrong with you? Why are you showing up at our school every minute? And he says, take this. And she grabs the bag and finds he bought the exact same coat that got torn. And she says, thank you. But he says, who said you'll take it? I'll personally deliver it to Professor Blue. So she asks why he even came if he was going to give it himself. And he says, didn't you smash my head yesterday? You owe me an apology and you have to treat me to lunch. My friend who has nothing with me will treat me to lunch. And at night she finds he sent her a cute selfie making a heart with his hand saying, I hope you do great in your exams. But the tiny problem is that he didn't send it privately. He sent it in the club group chat. And when his sister saw it, she said, what is this cringe? My brother looks possessed. And the whole group panicked, asking, are they dating or what? And our girl instantly calls him saying, what did you send, you idiot? This is the club chat. And he says, yeah, I know. I sent it for you in case you want it as your profile picture. And she tells him, are you insane? Go tell them it was a mistake. I don't want people saying weird things about us. And he says, weird things? Are you upset? Oh, wow. Look who's upset. No, my dear, let them misunderstand. Your chances with him will drop, and I'm not deleting anything. Good night. And right after that, Blue texts her saying, looks like you two got close. And she jumps in panic and was about to tell him no, but the typing bubble disappeared. So she sent, yeah, we're kind of close. Then she turns off her phone, slams her face into the bed and says, I'm stupid. I'm so dumb. I don't even know what I want. And the next day, when our boy learns from his sister that they'll all meet in the library with Blue, he jumps into his clothes and runs like a rocket because he refuses to leave her alone with them. And whenever our girl sees Blue and his sister together, she feels like she doesn't belong next to someone like him. They look perfect together, but his sister keeps pretending she's clueless and refuses to date Blue because she doesn't want to lose a friend. And the next day, while our girl is studying, our boy calls her and she says, good morning, what's up? And he says, let's go out and watch a movie. And she says, a movie? I have exams. So he says, there's a celebration for the school anniversary. I'll pick you up after the exam. And at that moment, our boy was reading the lines his friend wrote for him because he was too nervous to talk normally. And then he suddenly said, I'll hang up. And she asked, what are you talking about? And he said louder, hang up the phone. And his friend yelled, I wrote that so you would hang up, not tell her to hang up, you idiot. And our boy said, you think I'm dumb? I'll hang up when I want. And his friend said, no, I thought you were dumb out of politeness. You're actually dumb. And when she finally finishes her exam, she gets excited because he's supposed to pick her up. But our boy, being an idiot, overslept. And when he woke up, he jumped and ran as fast as he could. But some mean girls stopped our girl again until another girl showed up pretending to be her friend just to spy on her because she also liked our boy. And she dragged her to a cafe pretending they were close friends. And when our girl finally left, she found our boy standing in the rain like a drowned chick looking for her. And when he saw her, he was ashamed. But our girl ran to him saying, what's wrong? Are you sick? What happened? Why are you standing in the rain? And she found him tearing up, so she asked why he was crying and what happened. And he said, I'm stupid. I stayed awake for 3 days straight because I was excited we were going to meet and go out together. And then I fell asleep, and my friend set the alarm for 8 p.m. instead of 8 a.m. Free public education ruined me. And she said, it's okay. You tired yourself out for me. And he asked if she was mad. And she said, I was a little, but seeing you like a soaked chick made it go away. And you never break your promises. So I knew something must have happened. And she takes him to sit in a small garden. And she says, you exhausted yourself. Why do you even like me? And don't say things like, you're beautiful. That doesn't count. And he says, I like you. And just like that, suddenly I felt those feelings and they must have a reason. And anyway, you still consider us just friends. And she says she doesn't know. So he says, then give me a kiss. Maybe that will help you decide. Kisses actually help with that. And she jumps away shouting, no, that's enough. I'm leaving. We're not friends and don't talk to me or come near me. And she runs home, splashes water on her face, saying she will not give her first kiss away like that. But then the thought hits her. But what if Blue asked for it? Would I do it? And she says, I don't know. I'm losing my mind. While our boy walks around wailing, oh, disaster. I struggled so much to make us friends. And now with my stupidity, I went back to below zero. And when he tells his friend says, look, you're reckless and dumb, but now it's time to change the plan. You threw yourself at her too much. Now you need to act colder. And the next day when she goes to the art club, our boy goes too and starts ignoring her in the dumbest way possible. He keeps staring directly into her eyes, but refusing to talk. And every time he sees her talking to Blue, he feels like he's dying from jealousy, unable to keep acting calm. And when our girl tries to talk to him once, his sister interrupts them to say something to her, so he leaves. And our girl feels hurt that they now act like strangers. But the club members notice and decide to send the two of them together to buy snacks from the supermarket. And she waits for our boy outside until she waits for him outside, but hears two annoying girls saying, I know that handsome boy. He works as a model. Who's that girl with him? His girlfriend? No, she's too ugly. Maybe she's his sister. And our girl gets furious and runs right to them saying, you chameleons, lower your voices. I can hear you. Ugly? That boy inside is running after me, begging that we date. So shut your mouth or I'll shut it for you now. And one of the girls tries to push her, but our boy runs over and says, who do you think you are touching my girlfriend? And our girl, full of confidence, says, didn't you say you love me? And he says, I adore you. So she says, weren't you running after me? And he says, of course. And the girls immediately apologize. We're sorry, we didn't mean it. We'll leave and run away. What a perfect use of opportunities. When they leave, she turns to him and says, see your exaggerated looks and your height? That's why they say, how can someone like you look at someone like me? This is why we can't be together at all. And after a few days, she feels she went too far, especially after yelling at him and punching him the last time she saw him. So she decides to call him to make peace, and they sit together in the garden until they see an old, beautiful woman holding flowers, so they decide to draw her. And that moment gives her courage to tell her mother she wants to join the school's art club, but her mother only cares about studying and forces her to kill herself over grades, and she slaps her across the face and scolds her harshly. So our girl locks herself in her room and decides to leave at dawn so she won't see her mother's face. And she finds our boy sleeping outside her house. And the moment he sees her, he jumps up shocked and says, what happened to your face? Who did this to you? I swear I'll go break all his teeth. And she laughs through her tears saying, unfortunately, my mom, no matter what I do, she's a stone. Nothing affects her. So he pulls her close to kiss the eye that got hit. And when they both snap out of that emotional fog, she stares at him wide-eyed and he says, I'm sorry, I swear I got thirsty and thought I should drink your tears. Sorry, forgive me. I couldn't go kick your mom and I wanted to comfort you. Oh God, please never say again. Let's break up. Just stop. And she tells him to stop talking and he asks, you're not upset? And she says, no. So he says, so you liked the kiss? And she says, that's not what I meant, you crazy thing. Go now. I'm too embarrassed to look at you. Go. So he runs away before she explodes. And later after school, he calls her to come meet him. And when she arrives, she finds he booked an entire restaurant for her. And she says, what the hell is this? And he says, shouldn't we celebrate our first kiss? And she shouts, shut up. Don't mention that or I'll show you my red eye. And he says, don't worry, I'll take responsibility. I'm a real man. So she screams at him to shut up again and runs out. Later, our boy goes home, makes himself an elegant cup of tea, sits watching the sunset while listening to music. And his friends ask, what's wrong with you? What are you doing? And he says, wow, this sunset is so beautiful. And they say, since when are you poetic? What is this nonsense? And he says, I don't know. Ever since I became a grown, responsible man, things changed in me. And his friend tells him, you, the one who just hatched yesterday, when did you grow up? this morning? You sat with the plants and planted with them too. And he says, no, just with Yoon today. And suddenly he remembers she told him not to tell anyone. So he says, never mind, something happened. A secret, I won't say. But just know, I became a man because we did it together. And his friends scream, did what? You idiot! Speak clearly before you get us all killed. The next day at the art club meeting, everyone is acting tense, stealing glances at them. And Auntie Black whispers to Auntie Bambi, those two did something. And Bambi asks, like what? And Black says, they definitely kissed. I remember being all dizzy like that around the boy I liked. We were young too. And our girl walks out of the room with our boy following behind, and she says, can you stop circling around me? You're making me feel like we committed a crime. And he gets close to her and whispers, don't worry, I didn't tell anyone. And she panics, saying, shut up. Don't say we did anything. I won't say anything, and you don't say anything either. Don't talk, don't breathe. And after the club meeting, he takes her to the garden and says, I want to tell you something. And she asks, something real or something stupid? And he says, real, I swear. I'm looking you straight in the eyes now. And she says, God give me patience. And then he says, listen, you're not feeling anything for me, right? Like you don't love me, or God forbid you don't even like me? I'm sorry if I bother you. It's just, this is my first time ever liking a girl and I don't know what to do. I keep doing stupid things. And our girl gets shocked and says, I'm your first? And he says, I swear, yes. And she says, liar, someone like you never dated anyone? And he says, why would I lie? I swear I'm serious. And she says, fine, I believe you. Stop shouting. I believe you. You're right. I'm sorry. And the next day, our girl gets a call from the girl who she doesn't know is a snake and who secretly likes our boy. And she pretends she has no friends and feels close to our girl and wants to open up, saying she works as a model and doesn't know how to balance work and school, which one she should choose. And our girl says, wow, you're a model? So the girl shows her pictures, and as expected, she also shows pictures of our boy, and our girl freezes, saying softly, that's Young. And the girl says, yeah, you know him? And she says, yes, from the art club. And the girl says, honestly, he's my ex. We had a misunderstanding and he's mad at me. We still work together though. Please help me go with you to the next club meeting so I can make up with him, please. And our girl starts panicking and feeling stabbed because the girl is beautiful, and she loses all confidence and starts ignoring our boy's messages. And instead she sends a message in the group chat asking if she can bring her friend to the next meeting. And our boy is confused why she's chatting in the group but not replying to him since morning. And indeed she brings that snake to the meeting where everyone is dressed as ghosts, creating a spooky vibe. But our boy waits for a moment when our girl is alone to corner her in the hallway and ask, what's wrong? What happened? Last time we were perfect. What changed? But before she can answer, the snake calls out to our boy. He looks at her and says, what's this? What nonsense are you doing here? And our girl says, she's my guest. So he asks, and you wanted to bring her? And she says, yes. So he grabs her hand saying, come with me, takes her into a room, closes the door and says, how long have you known that girl? And she says, we met by coincidence. She helped me and we started talking. So our boy laughs and says, she's a snake. She doesn't help anyone, for God's sake. She asked you to bring her here, right? And our girl says, no, I told her to come. So he almost pulls his hair out saying, you don't know. That girl likes me. She's crazy. She keeps chasing me. And our girl says, I know, I heard. So he asks, you heard? Heard what exactly, sis? And she says, she told me she's your ex. And our girl leaves. But he stops her saying, you heard, you know, and you don't care about me, right? And she says, why should I? So he says, why should you? Okay then. And he leaves the room. When they go back for the drawing session and it's the couples sketching segment, the snake girl sits on our boy's lap. And because he's angry that our girl said she doesn't care about him at all, he lets the snake do it. And our girl breaks her pencil on the paper, not wanting to draw anything. She goes to wash her face and finds our boy standing there, determined to talk. And he says, what do you think? You saw us together and still don't feel anything? You don't feel the fire burning inside me when I see you talking and giggling with Blue? And she says, and why should I feel anything? Who even are you? Are we dating or something? Stay away from me. So our boy goes to the snake and says, you're behind all this, right? You told your dog friends to bully Yoon and bother her, and you used her to get into the club. And the snake admits, yes, you're the reason. You should have ignored all girls like you ignore me. I would have given up eventually. But no, you chose some useless girl to get attached to. So he says, I'll rip that tongue out. You know why I hate girls like you? Because you only know how to use people's feelings and kindness. And if you think I'll fall to the ground begging for your love, you're delusional. I hate you more than... And she cuts him saying, fine, I'll go kiss her head and apologize myself. And he says, no, I don't want you to apologize. She's kind, she'll forgive you. And don't apologize to me either. I want you gone from my face forever. And from now on, my entire life will stay under Yoon's feet. I'll protect her, take care of her, and keep trash like you away from her. So the snake goes to our girl and confesses she lied, that she sent the girls to bully her, that she approached her on purpose. And our girl says, I'm not that nice, by the way. When you asked me earlier if I loved Young or not, you made me understand my feelings. So thanks, because now I'll be brave and stay by his side. And I mean it. I hope you find someone who loves you and values you, someone even better than him. After that, our girl goes to our boy, and the moment he sees her, he wants to explain, but she runs and hugs him tightly, saying, I think I love you. And he says, what? What did you say? And she says, I love you. I think I love you. Forget it. Just pretend I didn't say it. But he runs to her and hugs her from behind tightly, saying, I love you so much. much. The next day, our boy stays awake the whole night, screaming in his room, I can't believe it. She told me she loves me. It feels like the world turned pink, flowers blooming everywhere. Am I dreaming? Hit me or pinch me. And his friend is dying from laughter and says, I'll throw you off the balcony so you believe it. And our boy says, it's not enough. It's not enough. We're officially together now. After all this, I finally got rewarded. And his friend just looks at him like, Lord have mercy. Love turns people into idiots. Meanwhile, our girl finishes school and walks around looking for him. But when she doesn't find him, she says, what? Should I call him? But what will I say? Why didn't he wait for me at the school gate? That's too clingy. And while she argues with herself, she hears his voice. Peace from the merciful Lord. The moon is talking to herself. Are you revising the lesson in your head, nerd? And she says, I was revising you, idiot. Why no call? No message? Where were you? So he says, oh, were you waiting for me? Because someone told me not to wait at the school gate. And she panics. What? I didn't say don't wait. I don't care about you. I just wondered why you disappeared. And he looks at her laughing because the lie is leaking from her eyes. They walk home together and she asks him what he dreams of. And he says, honestly, I want to be a reliable man. So she laughs and says, congrats. I meant what job you want in the future. And he says, it's too early. My sister's already in university and she doesn't even think about the future. And she says, she got into fine arts because she has a dream. And he says, you're not in anything yet, so you also don't have a dream? And she says, honestly, but right now I only dream of getting into university. That's all. I envy you. You're positive. You don't overthink. If overthinking solved problems, I would have solved everything by now. The next day, she waits outside her tutoring center, looking left and right, expecting him because she's so used to him always waiting. And before she loses hope, she sees something tall running toward her, waving, so she laughs and waves back, and he says, I'm sorry, I had work. The photographer kept saying, stay, stay, stay. And she asks, please don't tell me you argued with him and left. And he says, no, you told me to be more patient, so I stayed. And she says, then why did you come? You didn't have to escort me every day. And he says, excuse me? Never. You're more important than any job. And her cheeks turn red as she asks, I'm more important than your job? And he says, you're more important than anything. Then he takes her to the garden for a bit, saying, now I understand why people get married, so they never leave each other. Not at home, not outside. And she smiles, saying, you said I'm more important than your job, but I can't say the same. Not because you're not important, but because we both need a future. I need university, and you could grow in modeling. And he says, I don't think about the future. Modeling is just a job for food, that's all. And he hugs her tightly, saying, let me give you some of my energy so you stop stressing. And the next day, the photographer tells our boy to come because a very important photographer will visit, one who helped turn runway models into stars, and he wants to meet him. The photographer sets everything up proudly while our boy listens, but doesn't care about anything the man says. The photographer tells him, I want you to shine in front of this man. And our boy replies, man, I don't care. You dragged me here half asleep. I'm not trying to impress anyone. I'm not going to work like some clown. I only came because you said you'd pay me triple today. And if you keep talking, you'll make it triple plus a meal. When the big photographer arrives, he greets the local photographer, then approaches our boy saying, why the grumpy face this early? Where's your nice smile? And our boy says, it was here. Now it's gone. So the man asks, what did you say, kid? And our boy replies, if you want a nice smile, tell me a good joke. If it's not lame, I'll laugh. And the photographer almost dies from stress watching him throw away this golden opportunity. Later, our boy sits with his friends on the rooftop saying, guys, I'm in trouble. I want to kiss Yoon. And his friend says, listen, kissing is an art, like football. Takes experience, time, and money. So our boy kneels at his feet saying, teach me, boss, please. I don't want to traumatize her. I want her to like it. So his friend says, all right, poor thing. First rule, don't attack like a donkey or a bull. Girls like a romantic guy who gets close slowly and asks first. Never rush or she'll slap you. Then if she agrees, step 2, pin her gently to the wall and get closer, eyes locked in hers. But our boy says, no, she's not like that. She'll punch me in the face if I do that. And their second friend says, who would believe the pretty boy that all girls die for wants us to buy him a book called How to Kiss in 3 Steps? The next day at the art club, our boy finds our girl alone. So he decides to try the wall pin advice and corners her, but she immediately shoves him so hard he flies back 3 meters and she runs to him saying, sorry, are you okay? Who scares someone like that? And he says, I came to tell you about kissing steps 1, 2, 3. And she says, shut up. So he says, I knew I wouldn't enjoy this, but one day you'll let me kiss you, right? Or should I lose hope and become your brother? And she covers her ears saying, stop, don't embarrass me more. And he says, what did I say? Isn't kissing normal for people who love each other? Then laughs, I knew you wouldn't let me even kiss your shoulder, but I thought maybe I'd learn something about you. You like me, but you don't know everything about me, and I don't know everything about you, and I think you don't even know everything about yourself. I want us to learn everything about each other while we're together. And the very next day, our girl dresses up nicely and goes all the way to his shooting location to surprise him. And when she sees another girl, a cute model girl walks out saying, oh my God, she's so beautiful. But our girl looks at her own reflection and says, I'm beautiful too. I'm pretty. My hair is nice. My dress is nice. Stop thinking stupid things. Let's go. But our boy says, oh no, you came today? Didn't we agree we'd fix up and come later? Listen, wait for me in the cafe outside. Go now and I'll take you later. So she says, what's wrong with you? Do you have some girl girl inside or what? And he replies, I wish, sister. And his friends laugh and tell her, no, today is a photo shoot. The male models are shirtless. And suddenly a group of tall, muscular guys walk out. So our boy panics. Oh, no, don't look. Turn around, look at me. And he covers her eyes while she starts hiccuping. And he laughs at her, but she refuses to leave and sits there until the shirtless segment ends. And they take photos with dumbbells next to him. And every time she looks at him posing with them, she feels the distance between them widening. She truly believes she's not in his league, that she doesn't deserve him. Jamal, yes, he's sweet and his actions are kind, but he was born handsome. Everyone loves him. He has everything. And she goes back to feeling insecure and hating herself again. Poor girl is mentally exhausted and nobody understands what's going on in her head. The next day, he walks with his friends, staring at his chat with her, and they ask, what's wrong? Did she block you or what? And he says, no, she replies normally, but something's off. Her messages feel cold, like she's ignoring me, but also not ignoring me. And his friend says, Yoon's friend texted me. She's asking what happened last night. Looks like your girl is actually upset. Maybe she saw the hot shirtless guys last night and dumped you. And another says, her friend told me she was outside the whole night. So our boy says, no way, my girl isn't like that. She's shy like a little kitten, but he can only go to her house at night. When his friend calls him saying, where are you? We bought snacks and we're gonna watch movies till morning. He says, I'm going to check on Yoon. I'm worried. And his friend says, oh my God, you soft fool. May God help you. And he replies, I'm scared for her. What if some guy tries to bother her? And the friend says, bro, weren't you saying this morning you trust her? And he says, of course I trust her. I don't trust men, wolves, monsters. My girl is gorgeous. They'll definitely try something. And suddenly he stops talking because he sees her walking with a boy. So he hangs up and runs, shouting, Yoon, wait, get away from her, man. Who are you? And she turns saying, wait, let me explain. But he says, explain what? Are you okay? Who upset you? Why are you down? Don't tell me that animal bothered you. Don't worry, I'm here. I'll protect you. Literally without a single ounce of logic in his head. Then he turns to the boy saying, listen, man, I know she's like the moon, but stop circling around her. In the end, she chose me. And she says, my God, listen to me. You misunderstood. But he says, stay behind me. I know how to deal with guys like this. Then turns back to the boy and says, you look like a university guy. Shame on you flirting with high school girls. And she screams loudly to shut him up. He's my brother, you idiot. And our boy freezes, steps back 2 steps, bows, and says, I'm sorry, sir. And she pulls him away while he keeps apologizing to her brother. Forgive me, please, sir. She tells him, what did you do? We were out talking and you ruined everything. And he says, am I embarrassing you that much? And she says, of course not. I'm just saying, why didn't you tell me you're coming? So he asks, are you upset I came? And she says, no, stop twisting my words. Come on, let's sit. He tells her, I was scared for you. Something felt wrong. I felt someone upset you. I'm sorry. And she says, stop acting impulsive and I'm fine. And stop worrying before you think. And he says, you left after the photo shoot before I could make you happy and tell you someone from the entertainment agency discovered me. They want to train me to become an actor. I haven't agreed yet, I'm thinking. But he doesn't notice her face turning pale and full of fear as she says, trembling, but you told me you never thought about that. And he says, you're right, but I kept thinking I want to be someone worthy of you. I want to stand beside you without being a failure. They're a good agency. Someone close to me knows them. But suddenly she panics and leaves quickly. When she goes home, she hates herself for not congratulating him or saying anything nice. She keeps repeating, curse you. You were awful. But deep inside, she fears she'll become an obstacle, that he'll become a famous star surrounded by beautiful girls, and she'll be a stone in his path. The next day at school, she tells her friends she's thinking of breaking up, and her friend says, a relationship is between 2 people, and you want to make this decision alone? That's the worst thing ever. Our girl goes silent, unable to speak. At night, she receives a message about the art club's next theme. So she prepares and goes, hiding her feelings, but our boy takes her outside and says, you didn't even look at me today. What's wrong? And she says, sorry, I'm thinking about many things. And then he says, I only think about you, but it seems you think about everything except me. Yes, what's wrong? And she says, oh, and honestly, sometimes you annoy me. You get so many chances on a golden platter and you reject them, but some people would die for opportunities like these. And he says, you're just saying things. Something is really bothering you. What is it? I always feel like I'm the only one who loves you, wants you, misses you, but you don't feel any of that. And he leaves because he's exhausted from her selfish behavior. A few days later, he learns from her friend that her mother found her drawings, tore them, punished her, took her phone, and locked her inside. He becomes desperate, heartbroken, wanting to know anything about her, wanting to make sure she's okay. His friend says, bro, you're torturing yourself. You said you saw her from afar outside her house. Maybe her little brother will help you talk to her. What's wrong? And our boy says sadly, last time we spoke, she told me I don't have to know everything about her life. So I'll stay here waiting for her to come to me and tell me herself. The next day, a fire breaks out in her house because her younger brother exploded from the pressure by their parents only care about studying even at the cost of their health. No sleep, non-stop schoolwork. He refuses to go to the exam. A huge fight breaks out and her older brother joins to defend them. After things calm, the little brother runs away and their father searches everywhere until he finds him injured from falling in the playground equipment. They rush to the hospital and our girl finds him hiding, walking away. So she suddenly gains courage from nowhere, grabs our boy by the hand, stands in front of her parents and says, says, the one who saved my brother wasn't a classmate or stranger. It was my boyfriend. Our boy whispers, oh great, since we're at the hospital, if they beat me up, you'll save me, right? And she says, shut up and greet them. And her shocked parents say, boyfriend? You? And chase her. So she grabs our boy and runs, and he feels like he's meeting a new version of Yoon. Brave, bold, loving, and he feels like he's floating, not running from her father who might hang him at the hospital door. They sit at the cafe where the art club meets, and she says, I'm sorry. And he says, me too. And she says, you didn't do anything wrong. And he says, I felt like I did many things that upset you. And she says, no, I was the annoying coward, scared of everything. And he says, you're kind and your heart is beautiful. I know I was over the top, but it's my first time loving someone this much, so my actions probably stressed you out, but it's okay now. Like, the most important thing is you're the first person to me in everything. And she stands up, pulls him up and says, I love you, by the way, a lot. And she leans in to kiss him, and the boy cannot believe it. Honestly, neither can I. But from that night onward, she becomes strong, stands up to her mother, and he starts working seriously, focusing on himself to get accepted by the entertainment agency. No longer a careless boy. Her parents also soften up after realizing they could lose their children because of their harshness. The art club continues, all of them crazy from the oldest to the youngest. But the best thing about this strange club is that it changed her life. From a shy girl who never talked to anyone or looked past her glasses, she learned to meet new people, face situations, overcome fear, build confidence, and find the courage inside herself. And with that, this drama comes to the end.